Hello and welcome to the news at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and Hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Shine FM Akachi, Radio Max Takrady, and Ridge in Tamale. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, organized labor vows to shut down the public sector if government goes ahead with plans to restructure pension funds.
But this one has to do with money. It has to do with the blood of labor. If the government will not listen, then it can't govern.
Also, Narcotics Control Commission intercepts 11.4 kilograms of cocaine worth more than 3 million cedis in business.
Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry warns of further increase in prices of goods and services in the coming days following the signing of the 3 new tax bills into law by President Akufo-Addo. Details on the Joy Business Report.
Also in this package, Electricity Company of Ghana to start contracting private entities to go after customers for debts owed the company.
And as we speak, you realize that the deadline keeps changing. Initially, I think it was just this last Monday.
And much later in the bulletin, high life or dancehall musician.
It took some time for people to understand that, this guy is actually more versatile than just a dancehall artist. For me, it's just growth.
We'll hear from musician Episode on his newfound love, High Life. I am Maame Esi Thompson. Thanks for choosing us. Now, the Trades Union Congress has rejected government's proposal to restructure pension funds. The Finance Ministry has written to trustees of pension funds inviting them to participate in what it calls alternative proposed offer. Government is proposing a 5% coupon in 2023 and 2024. The ministry says the participation of the pension funds is needed so government can comply with cash constraints. But speaking to Joy News, the Deputy Secretary General of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, says Labour will not allow their pension funds to participate.
So as for money, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and if you take 1 out of 1, is 0. So yes. As for money, it doesn't need any technical eye before you can see that somebody is using your money wrongly or correctly. How can the government meet with us for us to table alternatives? And that has become a no-go area. But you want us to sacrifice and you want us to allow you to use our pension funds. You cannot live lavishly whilst you want us to live in poverty all the time. It is not going to work.
You heard Deputy Secretary General of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, saying that they will not allow their pension funds to be used. Meanwhile, the University Teachers Association of Ghana says they will fight government with everything they have.
You talk and nobody listens to you. But this one has to do with money. It has to do with the blood of labor. And so we are saying that if the government will not listen, then it can't govern, because labor has the muscle to flex and will be able to shut down the entire public sector if the government wants to be intransigent in this matter.
In the face of mounting criticism over the recent losses at the produce buying company PBC, the Deputy CEO in charge of finance at the company, Vivian Boadi, is defending management. In our latest Hotline documentary, PBC Troubles, Joy News Investigative Desk showed the steep decline in PBC's market shares from 30.88% in 2016 to 8% in 2021. According to Madam Boadi, the management team cannot be solely blamed for the company's recent financial struggles. We'll hear from her shortly. First, listen to Public Affairs Manager of Cocobod, Fifi Boafo, who says they are deeply concerned about PBC's fall.
It is a concern because PBC is one of the very key license buying companies, even though we have a number of them, about 65 license buying companies. But PBC has been one of the very best license buying companies. Despite the fact that they've had some challenges in recent years, PBC continues to be the license buying company you can count on when you have to go to the hinterlands.
We can now hear from Deputy CEO in charge of finance at the company, Vivian Boadi, who says management team is actively working to turn the company's fortunes around.
Yes, we could say PBC is on the verge of collapse if nothing is done about it. There were things that were going right for us. The losses didn't start in 2020 or 2021. The losses of PBC started way back in 2013. And that is where I would want everybody to know that it's not as it's being portrayed that the current management is the cause of the company's downward trend of the market share.
The Electricity Company of Ghana says it is considering contracting private companies to go after customers owing the company. ECG has been disconnecting power to entities and individuals who have failed to pay their debts or agree to a payment plan in a drive to retrieve 5.7 billion cedis in arrears. Managing Director of the company, Samuel Dubik Mahama, tells Joy News the company will take different steps to collect their debts after the current exercise ends on Friday.
It's not an exercise that you think you'd be able to finish. No, you can't. But within this short period, we intend to recover enough of it and then now launch a proper and systematic process to continuously close that gap as quickly as possible. There's a possibility that we might even start selling the debt to private institutions to go and collect. It's something that we are thinking about considering, because we are getting to the point where we need all the help that we could get. So if it means discounting it to the necessary company and then getting what we need, yes, why not?
One entity that was affected by the drive was Airtel Tigo, alleged to owe 1 million cedis, but the company disputes that claim. Nancy Asiedu Amrado is head of brands and communications at Airtel Tigo.
Okay, so currently, as I speak, we don't owe last year. This year we have cleared January, we have cleared March, February. We've made part payments of February, and it's not even up to the amount you just quoted. So all we want to say is that some reconciliation had to be done. Some due diligence on the part of ECG should have been done before coming to our office with the whole workforce and even with the media.
Nancy Asiedu Amrado is head of brands and communications at Airtel Tigo. Now, the Narcotics Control Commission has recently apprehended a Kenyan national for smuggling cocaine at the Kotoka International Airport. A statement signed by the acting director of public affairs of Naco says the suspect was arrested for the possession and transportation of illicit drugs without lawful authority. It is illegal and punishable under sections 40 clause 1 and 41 clause 1 of Act 1019 of the Narcotics Control Commission Act 2020. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in studio with details. Joseph, what does the statement say about the suspect?
Mary Njeri, 35, was apprehended by Naco officials during routine checks at the arrival hall after disembarking from a South African Airways flight from Nairobi to Accra via Johannesburg. A search of her luggage revealed packages of food that contained the concealed drugs. Initial investigations revealed that she had confirmed possession of the consignment in her luggage, and she was later arrested for further investigation.
What else do we know?
The exhibits have been sent to the Ghana Standards Authority for analysis and report, while the suspect is being held in prison pending further investigation and prosecution.
Thank you, Joseph. Now, the Education Ministry says it expects investigations into claims of toilet cubicles converted into dormitories at the Ghana Senior High School completed in 2 weeks. Authorities, old students of the school, and the Northern Regional Minister have all rubbished the report, urging people to treat it with contempt. Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Education Ministry, Yao Opoku-Mensah, says the decision to interdict the headmaster was to make way for a transparent investigation.
So we've given ourselves some 2 weeks to look into this, and the team are already on the ground, led by the Regional Director of Education, who after their work will come to brief the management of Ghana Education Service.
President of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High School, Stephen Osusetre, says although Charles is not happy with the interdiction of the headmaster, he believes he will be vindicated.
There should have been a thorough investigation, but for management, for them to have a very unbiased kind of investigation, they are asking about it to step aside, and we are not really afraid of that. And even though we are not happy, we have talked to him and he's calm.
Away from that, musician Episode has in the last few months released highlight songs despite being noted for dancehall music. He's playing to Andy Dusty that he's simply growing and not necessarily changing his style. Listen.
It started from me trying to paint my face. That was adding the African identity to the brand, the reggae dancehall artist. And then now decided to drop songs like Wahala Day, which is not a reggae or dancehall song. It's just that yes, because I was tagged reggae dancehall artist, that side wasn't really strong until Latina dropped. It took some time for people to understand that, oh, this guy is actually more versatile than just a dancehall artist, you know. So for me, it's just growth, just like I'm saying, is growth for me.
And you heard musician Episode speaking on Hit 7. That's all for this edition of the Bulletin. Our top story: organized labor vows to shut down the public sector if government goes ahead with plans to restructure pension funds. I am Maame Esi Thompson. More coming up on the Super Morning Show. Stay tuned.
Sikamini binti nani bre, minyankameyo.